Having big hands is quite essential in the American football space, especially for quarterbacks and wide receivers. Nowadays, NFL teams would like their players equipped with a handspan of 9.5 inches minimum. Once again, especially quarterbacks. Hue Jackson, the Browns manager, is one coach that's very particular when it comes to the hand size of quarterbacks that can play on his team. He once stated that he prefers players with handspans of about 10 inches or even more. And you can't blame him. After all, with bigger hands, a player can grip the ball better and also control it more firmly before throwing it. As a passer, you have to be able to control the ball at all times firmly. When in a crowded pocket, it is crucial to be able to hold on to it, pump fake, and conduct it efficiently when throwing it. Now, for all these needs, you can see why big hands can be a massive advantage for a player. In the NFL, measurement of hand sizes is done at the NFL Combine. This is carried out by simply measuring from the thumb's tip to the pinky finger's tip while the players stretch their hands. Now that you know how it is done and that the advantages of having big hands, besides getting into Coach Jackson's team, you'll want to know those who have it. And so in today's video, we will be revealing to you the top 10 biggest hands in NFL history. However, before we go deep into the details on today's list, don't forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment Gifted Athlete to be entered in this month's $500 Amazon gift card giveaway. Good luck! Number 10. DeAndre Hopkins. Having a height of 6 foot 1 inches, DeAndre Hopkins has a handspan that measures an incredible 10.08 inches. Now, this gets more interesting when you understand that that's about 12% bigger than the average handspan that players his height have. For instance, Mike Evans, the wide receiver, is 4 inches taller than him. However, Hopkins' hands are 5% wider than his. Yes, it's no wonder he's so good with the catch and now, hopefully, help the Cardinals to a title challenge. He got his measurements at the Scouting Combine back in 2013, and for the record, his arms are 33 3/8 inches. So when you see that for 6,889 yards, this man has already caught 486 career passes along with 44 touchdowns so far. You can't be too surprised. Number 9. Heath Shuler. With hands as wide as 10.63 inches, Heath Shuler has astonishingly big hands for a body that's only 6'2" in height. Players like Jake Plummer and Jim Harbaugh are examples of players with the same height, but their hand sizes are nowhere close to Shuler's. More surprisingly is the fact that the 49-year-old former player has bigger hands than 6'5" Kerry Collins. Now, I know some of you are like, who the heck is this guy? Yes, it's okay not to remember the man due to his very short career lifespan. So I'll dive into that a little. Heath Shuler is currently an American businessman who used to play as a quarterback for the Washington football team. He spent just 4 years in the game, but his hands are something to remember. Number 8. Ryan Mallett. This star is a retired quarterback who played for the Patriots after being drafted in 2011, and let's just say his height and general physique are significant. The 33-year-old's hands measure 10.75 inches. Well, I should also say that Ryan Mallett's hands aren't very impressive when you consider his size. Nonetheless, they are indisputably big, and most even his size players cannot boast of having such wide hands. Take Joe Flacco, for example. His height is quite the same as Ryan's, yet his hands measure 11.6% smaller than Mallett's. Number 7. Ryan Fitzpatrick. This quarterback's handspan is pretty incredible. Just as his inconsistent performances led to the innovation of nicknames like Fitzmagic or Fitztragic, however, his big hands are consistent at 10.75 inches. Just to make the point that height has nothing to do with big hands, a player like Ben Roethlisberger's, who is 6'5", has a handspan that's about 15% smaller than Fitzpatrick's. This 38-year-old quarterback plays for the Washington football team and can be superb when he can. He played for Harvard and was the school's first QB to register more than 1,000 rushing yards in college. So there goes the magic of big hands. Number 6. Cody Kessler. Here's another football superstar that has really unbelievable hands, especially when you consider his height. Jeff Blake is as tall as Kessler, but that equality does not happen at the hands. Blake's handspan is just 8.50 inches, while Kessler has an incredible 10.88 inches wide hand. The quarterback is 4 inches shorter than Matt Schwab, yet Schwab's hand is 16% narrower. Number 5. Dak Prescott. Introducing you to Dak Prescott's big hands, which measure up to 10.88 inches, just like Kessler's. The 28-year-old quarterback puts these big hands to good use for the Dallas Cowboys team. The big hands also played their role nicely, helping him to a 4th-round pick at the NFL Draft in 2016. 4 years later, Prescott records a passer rating of 97.3, placing him in the top 10 among NFL's passers in history. The superstar was intended as a backup during his rookie season, but he later became his team's starting quarterback. He got his chance after Tony Romo got an injury while playing in the preseason. I'm not taking anything away from Prescott, but with big talented hands, he did wonderfully, helping the Cowboys to the top in the team's conference. The star set multiple QB rookie records, earning recognition as the year's offensive rookie player and getting into the Pro Bowl. Number 4. Jim Druckenmiller. During the last NFL combined measurements, Jim Druckenmiller had the biggest hands among the quarterbacks. On average, a 6'5" human has a handspan of about 9.3 inches. Just wait till you meet Druckenmiller. The QB has hands that measure 11.25 inches. Players like Drew Bledsoe and Carson Palmer had the same height as Jim, but they could only measure 9.63 and 9.50 inches, respectively. Number 3. Mo Alley-Cox. This is the first tight end on this list, and his hands are so incredible, it's unbelievable. The 27-year-old who plays for the Indianapolis Colts is starting to pick up and take full advantage of his huge hands. An interesting fact about this man is that he played basketball in college at VCU before deciding that football was the one. Alley-Cox's big hands measure at a whopping 11.27 inches. Number 2. Goster Cherilus. This is the man who initially held the record of the NFL player with the biggest hands back in 2003, and even now, no one has bigger hands. The 37-year-old former offensive tackle who played for the Buccaneers has a handspan of 11.75. This is rare, and no one beats it. Just that, unlike in the past, there are people like Alley-Cox. Number 1. DeForest Buckner. Well, this is the last person so far that has the rare handspan of 11.75. This Oregon defensive end is our number 1, not because he has bigger hands, but because his hands are very talented. The 27-year-old Indianapolis Colts star was drafted in the 1st round back in 2016 and was selected for the Pro Bowl first team last year. Indeed, his hands are big and skillful. And that's how we end today's list. So which of these 10 big hands do you think is the best? Do you think DeAndre Hopkins is putting his big hands to use? Are there other big hand players in NFL's history that you would like to see on the list? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you love the game and DeAndre Hopkins in particular. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Until next time.